All right, excellent. So, hello out there in video land. We are continuing with our reading of Dante's Purgatorio. Today we will begin uh, Purgatorio Canto 6. We will read it completely through in Italian, and then we will read it completely through in English. After that, we will begin reading smaller pieces and discuss what we're reading and clarify and state opinions and all this kind of stuff. So, with that being said, I am ready to begin the Italian part. And Decio, if you would please.
Ok. E allora cominciamo il canto 6 del Purgatorio di Dante Alighieri. Quando si parti il gioco della zara, colui che perde si riman dolente, ripetendo le volte e tristo impara. Come l'altro se ne va tutta la gente, qual va dinanzi e qual va di dietro, il prende e qual da lato lì si reca a mente. Il non si arresta e questo e quello intende, a cui porge la man, più non fa pressa, e così dalla calca si difende. Tal era io in quella turba spessa, volgendo a loro e qua e là la faccia, e promettendo mi scolgea da essa. Qui vi era l'aretin che dalle braccia, fiere di gin, di tacco, ebbe la morte, e l'altro che annegò correndo in caccia. Qui vi pregava con le mani sporte Federigo Novello e quel da Pisa, che fe parer lo buon Marzuco forte. Vidi conte orso e l'anima divisa dal corpo suo per stio e per invedia, come dicea non per colpa commessa. Pier della broccia, dico, e qui proveggia, mentre e di qua la donna di Brabante, sì che però non sia de peggior greggia, come libero fui da tutti quanti quegli ombri che pregar pur chi altri prieghi, e sì savacci per divenir santi. Io cominciai. El par che tu mi nieghi, o luce mia, espresso in alcun testo, che decreto del cielo orazion pieghi, e questa gente prega pur di questo. Sarebbe dunque loro speme vana, e non mi è il detto tuo ben manifesto? Ed ele a me, la mia scrittura è piana, e la speranza di costor non fala, si ben si guarda con la mente sana, che cima di giudizio non si avvala, perché fuoco d'amor compia in un punto ciò che di soddisfar qui si stala. E là dove io fermai cotesto punto, non s'amendava per pregar, difetto, perché il priego da Dio era disgiunto. Veramente a così alto sospetto non ti fermar, se quella non ti dice che lume fia tra il vero e lo intelletto. Non so se intendi, io dico di Beatrice. Tu la vedrai di sopra, in sulla vetta di questo monte, ridere e felice. E io, Signore, andiamo a mangiar fretta, che già non m'affatico come dianzi, e vedi ormai che il poggio l'ombra ghetta. Noi anderen con questo giorno innanzi, risposi, quanto più potremo mai, ma al fatto dell'altra forma che non stanzi, prima che sia lassù, tornar vedrai colui che già si copre della costa, sì che suoi raggi tu romper non fai. Ma vedi là un'anima che posta sola soletta in verso noi riguarda. Quella ne insegnerà la via più tosta. Venimo a lei, o anima lombarda, come ti stavi altera e disdegnosa, e nel mover degli occhi onesta e tarda. Ella non si dicea alcuna cosa, ma lasciava neggir solo sguardando, a guisa di leon quando si posa. Pur Virgilio si trasse a lei pregando che ne mostrasse la miglior salita. E quella non rispose al suo dimando, ma di nostro paese e della vita s'inchiese e il dolce duca incominciava. Mantova, e l'ombra tutta in sé romita surse ver lui del loco ove prie stava, dicendo: O Mantovano, io son sordello della tua terra. E l'un e l'altro abbracciava. Next.
John, are you with us?
Oh, I muted when the dogs were barking.
Okay.
Ai servitalia di dolor ostello, nave senza nocchiere in gran tempesta, non dona di province ma bordello. Quell'anima gentil fu così presta, so per lo dolce suon de la sua terra, di fare al cittadin suo quivi festa. Or in te non stanno senza guerra, li vivi tuoi e l'un l'altro si rode, si que cun muro e una fossa sera. Cerca miser interno dalle prode, le tue marine poi ti guard in seno, alcuna parte in te di pace gode, che val perché ti racconciasse il freno. Justiniano, se la sele vota, sans esso fuori la vergogna meno. Hai gente che dovreste ser devoto e lasciar seder Cesar in la sella, se bene intende ciò che io ti nota. Guarda come ste fiere fatta fela, per non essere corretta dagli sproni, poiché ponesti mano la predella. O Alberto Tedesco c'abbandoni, costei che fat in domital selvaggia, e dovresti infocar li suoi azioni. Justo giudico dalle stelle caccia, sovra il tuo sangue sia nove aperto, tal quel tuo successor te menzionaggia. Next, please.
Chiavete tu e il tuo padre soffretto per cupidigia, di costa distretti, el ghiardi dello perio sia deserto. Vieni a veder Montecchi e Capoletti, Monaldi e Filippeschi, uno stanza cura, color gia triste, e questes con sospetto. Vien crudel, viene e vede la pressura di tuo gentili e cura lor magagne, e vedrai Santa Fior come oscuro. Viene a vedere a tua Roma, che piagne, vedova e sola, e de notte chiama. Cesare mio, perché non m'accompagnare? Vieni a vedere la gente quando s'ama e se nulla di noi pietà ti muove, a vergogna te vien della tua fama. E se lecito me, o sommo Giove, che foste intiera per noi crucifisso. Son le giusti occhi tuoi rivolti altrove? Oh, è ragione che nell'abisso del tuo consiglio fai per alcun bene. In tutto de la corgel nostra siso, che la città d'Italia tutte piene son di tiranni e un Marcel devente ogni villan che parteggiando viene. Orenza mio, ben puoi esser contenta di questa digressione che non ti tocca. Merci del popolo tuo che si argomenta. Molti han giustizia in cuore e tarde su scocca per non venir senza consiglio all'arco, ma il popol tuo la insomma della bocca. Molti rifiutano lo comune incarico, ma il popolo tuo sollecito risponde, senza chiamare e grida. Il suo barco, o ti fa lieta, che tu hai ben onde, tu ricca, tu con pace e tu con seno. S'io dico di colver, lo effetto lo nasconde. Atene e la sedemona che fenno, la antiche leghe e furon si civile, fecero a viver bene un picciol seno verso di te, che fai tanto sottili, provvedimenti, ca meso novembre, non giughi quel che tu do ottobre file. Quante volte del tempo che rimembre, leghe, moneta, officio e costume, hai tu mutato e rinnovate membre. E se ben ti ricordi e vendi lume, vendrai te, somigliante a quella inferma, che non può trova posa in sulle piume, ma con dar volta sua dolore scherma. Okay, we are ready for the English reading.
Are you interested in the introduction?
Yes.
Always.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Anti-Purgatory, the second ledge, the late repentant, class 3. Wow, those who died by violence. The poets move along with the souls still crowding about them. Dante promises all of them that he will bear word of them back to the world, but he never pauses in his climb. Among the press of souls, Dante specifically mentions seeing Benincasa di Laterino, Guccio de Carlotti, Federico Novella, Count Orso, and Pierre de la Brosse. Finally, free of that crowd, Dante asks Virgil how it is that prayer may sway God's will. Virgil explains in part, but once more finishes by declaring that the whole truth is beyond him and that Dante must refer that question to Beatrice when he meets her. That's interesting.
Mhm.
The sun passes behind the mountain as they climb, mid-afternoon of Easter Sunday. The poets press on, and there on the shady slope, they encounter the majestic spirit of Sardello, who, like Virgil, is a Mantuan. Dante watches Sardello and Virgil embrace in a transport of love for their common birthplace and is moved to denounce Italy for setting brothers to war on one another, to denounce the Emperor Albert for his failure to bring unity and peace to Italy, and finally to utter an invective against Florence as the type of the war-torn and corrupt state. So that's the introduction.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Should I start, even though I've read a lot?
Yes.
Okay. The loser, when a game of dice is done, remains behind, reviewing every roll sadly, and sadly wiser and alone. The crowd leaves with the winner. One behind tugs at him, one ahead, one at his side, all calling their long loyalty to his mind. Not stopping, he hands out a coin or two, and those he has rewarded let him be. So he fights off the crowd and pushes through. Such was I then, turning my face now here, now there, among that rout, and promising on every hand, till I at last fought clear. Next.
There was the Aretine who from the arms untamed of Jean de Taco had his death, and he who fleeing from pursuit was drowned. There was imploring with his hands outstretched Frederic Novello, and that one of Pisa who made the good Marzucco seem so strong. I saw Count and the soul divided by hatred in its body, as it declared, and not for crime committed. Pierre le Depros, I say, and here provide, while still on earth, the Lady of Brabant, so that for this she be of no worse flock. As soon as I was free from all those shades who only prayed that someone else may pray, so as to hasten their becoming holy, began I. It appears that thou deniest, O light of mine, expressly in some text, that orison can bend decree of heaven. And nevertheless, these people pray for them. Can their expectation bootless be? Or is it to me thy saying not quite clear? Next reader, please.
And he to me, that which I wrote is plain, nor are their hopes deceived, if thy wit skills with clear, whole sight to con this point again. High justice does not stoop when love fulfills in one fire's flash the whole great payment owed by him that here in debt and bondage dwells. But in that case I treated of, the load might not be shifted. Prayer had no effect, because prayer was then disjoined from God. These are deep waters, rest not there, reject conclusion, till she show it thee, who is set as a light twixt truth and intellect. I know not if thou understandst this. I mean Beatrice. On this mount's high crest thou shalt behold her smiling and in bliss. O sir, said I, let us make greater haste. I can indeed, I'm much less tired already, and look how the hill's shadow veils its breast. Yes, perhaps another reader here, please. I think it's a break.
Yeah. We will go forward with this day, he answered, as far as now is possible for us. But otherwise, the fact is, then, thou thinkest. Ere thou art up there, thou shalt see him return, him who now hides himself behind the hill, so that thou dost not interrupt his rays. But yonder there behold, a soul that's stationed, all alone is looking hitherward. It will point out to us the quickest way. We came up unto it, O lumbered soul. How lofty and disdainful thou didst bear thee, and grand and slow in moving of thy eyes. Nothing whatever did it say to us, but let us go our way, eyeing us only after the manner of a country lion. Still near to it, Virgilus drew, entreating that it would point us out the best ascent, and it replied not unto his demand. But of our native land and our life it questioned us, and the sweet guide began, Mantua, and the shade, all in itself recluse, rose towards him from the place where first it was, saying, O Mantuan, I am Sordello, of thine own land, and one embraced the other. John.
Servile Italy, grief's hostelry, a ship without a pilot in great tempest, no lady thou of provinces, but brothel. That noble soul was so impatient only at the sweet sound of his own native land to make its citizen glad welcome there. And now within thee are not without war thy living ones, and one doth gnaw the other, of those whom one wall and one fosse shut in. Search, wretched one, all round about the shores, thy seaboard, and then look within thy bosom, if any part of thee enjoyeth peace. What boots it that for thee Justinian the bridle mend, if empty be the saddle? Without in this the shame would be the less. Ah, people, thou that oughtest to be devout, and to let Caesar sit upon the saddle, if well thou hear'st what God teacheth thee, behold how fell this wild beast has become, being no longer by the spur corrected, since thou hast laid thy hand upon the bridle. Next, please.
O German Albert, who abandons her that has grown recalcitrant and savage, and oughtest to bestride her saddle-bow. May a just judgment from the stars down fall upon thy blood, and be it new and open, that thy successor may have fear thereof, because thy father and thyself have suffered by greed of those transalpine lands distrained, the garden of the empire to be waste. Come and behold Montecchi and Capoletti, Monaldi and Filippeschi, careless men, those said already and those doubt the present. Come, cruel one, come and behold the oppression of thy nobility, and cure their wounds, and thou shalt see how safe is Santa Fiore. Come and behold in Rome that is lamenting, widowed, alone, and day and night exclaim, My Caesar, why hast thou forsaken me? Come and behold how loving are the people. And if for us no pity moved thee, come and be made ashamed of thy renown. And if it lawful thee, O God supreme, who upon earth for us ways crucified, Are thou just eyes averted over them? Or preparation isn't that in the abyss of thine own counsel for some good thou makest from our perception utterly cut off? Next, please.
For all the towns of Italy are full of tyrants, and becometh a Marcellus each peasant curl who plays the partisan. My Florence, well mayst thou contented be with this digression, which concerns thee not, thanks to thy people who such forethought take. Many at heart have justice, but shoot slowly, that advise they may come not to the bow, but on their very lips thy people have it. Many refuse to bear the common burden. By thy solicitous people answerest without being asked, and criest, I submit. Now be thou joyful, for thou hast good reason, thou affluent, thou in peace, thou full of wisdom. If I speak true, the event conceals it not. Athens and Lacedaemon, they who made the ancient laws and were so civilized, made towards living well a little sign, compared with thee who makest such fine spun provisions, that to the middle of November reaches not what thou in October spinneth. How oft, within the time of thy remembrance, laws, monies, offices, and usages, hast thou remodeled and renewed thy members. And if thou mind thee well and see the light, thou shalt behold thyself like a sick woman, who cannot find repose upon her down, but by her tossing wardeth off her pain. My goodness gracious.
Well, well, here's an angry Dante.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems a little we've had a change here. Several changes. Alrighty. So we have read in Italian, we have read in English all the way through, and now it is time to begin to read it in smaller pieces and take a look at it. I don't know about the rest of you, but there's a lot of stuff I need to figure out in this one.
Okay, just before we start, just a kind of a general picture, and maybe it's because I've been gone a couple weeks. These people here and the folks in the previous canto are the people who did not have a chance to confess before they died. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And is
Wait,
there any?
They didn't have a chance to confess, but they did repent.
Right. But there was no formal confession, like, so they are the unshriven, correct?
Yeah.
There weren't no priests there.
Right. So, very Protestant actually, and I think we talked about that. Now, is there a difference between these people here and the people in the previous canto, or do you wish me to save that question?
Well,
Like somebody died by violence
I don't have an
on.
answer to it, so
Sorry?
I don't have an answer to it at this time.
Well, let's see. They died by violence.
Right. Those are the folks in the previous canto, right? DD died by violence.
Yeah, and also class 3 died by violence without last rites.
Okay.
So I don't know what the difference is there.
Okay.
It has to do with their and the class. Oh wait, class 2, the indolent. We're still there. The indolent, in other words, they could be facing up to what they did. This is class 2, but they're too lazy to do it. That was Canto 4 and 5.
Okay.
And let's see, then there's Canto 3, the contumacious. What did they do?
Well, we just said, yeah, definitely.
Were they the folks who were excommunicated then, Didi?
I don't think so. What does contumacious mean?
Well, that's the key right there. What does contumacious mean?
I'm going to look it up. but my sense is defiant, stubborn, hard to.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
I
probably
I
it.
will put a definition. I will get you a definition very quickly here.
Yeah, and that's probably it. So that's how they're distinguished, the three ante-purgatory stages
Right.
before you get into purgatory.
Right. So back there we had the warrior who had been excommunicated twice. And then when he died, the church officials were still so angry at him that they dug up his bones and threw them away.
Right. I remember that.
Nevertheless, he's in purgatory because at the last second, as the sword was slicing through him, he repented.
Okay. I put the definition in the chat. It's a legal term. Stubborn or willfully disobedient to authority.
There we go.
Okay, so they'd be the excommunicate. And just what you said, Duncan, and we maybe said this, but when you get to my age, you think all the ideas are new because you forget stuff. But but it is ironic that Boniface has already got a place reserved for him in hell.
Mm-hmm.
This guy who the church dislikes so much that they dug up his bones and spread them out, he's going to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Maybe popes aren't allowed to repent
I don't know.
in Dante's scheme.
I don't know.
No. He does not punish all popes.
No,
I know, but
Yeah.
that Boniface was so much a betrayer that there was no hope, even if he, I guess there was
Repented
no
at the
hope
last
that he
moments.
would see that.
Yeah, my sense is that he had tremendous respect for the papacy.
Well, yeah.
And that was why he was so indignant that it was being abused by Boniface.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So this is basically a continuation then of 5. Like we're getting these folks who died without being confessed or getting the last rites.
But they're in a different ledge.
Oh, okay.
There is a difference.
Okay.
Don't ask me what the difference is right now, but there is
So
a
they
difference.
died by violence, which the others did too. Maybe deliberate violence.
Purgatory proper doesn't start until Canto 10.
Can you say that again? Sorry, Anne.
Purgatory proper doesn't start till Canto 10.
Property.
So we're outside until right up to 9 and
So
including.
there are,
Oh, okay. Purgatory proper.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Purgatory proper doesn't start till 10.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still on the second ledge.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the folks that are hanging on by their fingernails.
And there are different classes. This is class 3, and then the next is class 4, still on the second ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Okay.
One could write a paper on the.
Thanks. This was helpful. I hope it wasn't a waste of time for everybody else that I asked the question, but I don't want to lose the forest for the trees. So thanks.
Sure.
Worry thee not.
Okay. Thank you. You're an indulgent, forgiving bunch, and that's why I like you.
No, curiosity is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, it also helps us. That's the whole thing. It helps us to look at things that we might not otherwise have looked at.
Absolutely. I have a wonderful yoga teacher, my guru. She says, I love questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So all that being said, I believe it is time for Dee Dee to read the first part. Take us where you want to, Dee Dee, and
Sure,
then
and feel free to.
and we will go through it and make sure we understand.
Okay, I'll keep going until I get a question or somebody else does. The loser, when a game of dice is done, remains behind, reviewing every roll sadly, and sadly wiser and alone. The crowd leaves with the winner, one behind, tugs at him, one ahead, one at his side, all calling their long loyalty to his mind. Not stopping, he hands out a coin or two, and those he has rewarded let him be. So he fights off the crowd and pushes through. Such was I then, turning my face now here, now there among that rout, and promising on every hand, till I at last had fought clear.
Okay, I
There's
think
our
that's a good,
chief.
I think that's a
Sorry.
good stopping point, Dee Dee. I think that's a good stopping point.
It's very interesting that the first stanza talks about the loser. And I'm just kind of putting this out to the group. I'm not sure why. Because unless it's just like contrast, but really what he's talking about, who's focusing on here, is the winner in the game of chance, because everybody kind of mobs that person.
Right.
So I'm not sure why he's talking about everybody abandoning the loser.
I think here the people are all around Dante
Right.
and not around Virgil. So he's comparing himself to being the winner of this game of Zara.
That's an interesting
Okay.
interpretation.
Right.
And,
Because
and
Virgil can't go back and kind of twist people's arms or cajole them into praying for these folks here. Okay, right. Thank you, Anne. That makes sense.
I think it's very
the
interesting, though,
part
that
the part chance plays in the human struggle.
well, and I think that Dante is very subtly trying to point out that even those in purgatory are thinking that if a person is rewarded through chance, that means that they are a good person. And the person who loses through chance, not through any fault of their own, but through chance, is ignored. And this really is an intellectual failing of humans in general.
So if I understand correctly, what you're saying, Duncan, is that these people feel don't feel that they've lost by chance. They feel as that they're still good people, and they don't see this as being an outcome of chance. Is that what you mean?
Well, they don't, they're making all kinds of assumptions here. I think they're assuming that because Dante happens to be there, that makes him something special.
Okay.
And
Well, he would be special, Duncan, because he's alive. So he can organize prayers to be said for them,
he would
which
be
might help
special.
them
Yes, but
lessen their years.
yes, remember something though that I think is still important. Dante is there by the grace of Beatrice. He is not there because of some virtue within himself.
It's a merit, his own merit.
He's not there on his own merit. I mean, this is my interpretation, obviously, but he's not there on his own merit yet. So here we are halfway through the poem because it mentions this is Easter Sunday or whatever. We're kind of just a little past the halfway thing. And I think Dante might be confessing to us poetically that he's a winner, not through his own merit, but kind of through chance. So
I
that's
don't.
one level to look at. Remember, there's 4 levels that they say are in this poem. And that's one of the levels, I think, here.
Well,
I
so
don't think he's actually talked about chance. I think he's just trying to explain the way it is. that these people are all surrounding him. He says, and he's promising, I freed myself therefrom. He frees himself from them. He names them all, where they're from. And if you go down along to around 25, as soon as I was free from all those shades, who only prayed that someone else may pray, so as to hasten their becoming holy. So they're using him, they're pleading with him to when he comes back to earth to get their families or whoever to pray for them, which will lessen their time there.
Yeah, in contrast to Dante, who is getting helped by Beatrice.
No, I think it's more that Virgil is no help to them, because Virgil can't sort anything.
He can. You're
Because Virgil
absolutely
is
right.
dead,
Right.
so only Dante can help them.
Right, and that they're that they do believe that if he goes back and mentions them to their relatives and gets people to pray for him, that they're
Might knock a couple of years off them.
yeah, right. Whatever that might mean in this circumstance, I think that to me, they're still lost. That they're still thinking, all these people in purgatory are still thinking in very earthly human terms.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of either or. It's a matter of both and here, because I think, he in that first tercet, Dante is saying something about himself. I think he throws repeating. I think he's admitting he's still throwing the dice. He knows he's in purgatory. He knows he's not through life yet. He knows he's alive. And but yet he's being importuned by this crowd of people whose lives have ended and who are looking to him, beseeching him to to get others to pray for him, as if this is like he's being given a mission here in a way. And he feels kind of unworthy of that, I think, because he says, I think he feels that this is he feels more like the loser in a way. He doesn't feel like he's through this yet.
Yeah, he has his doubts
Yes.
throughout. And he loses his doubts. I think it's in Paradiso where he finally loses them.
Right. That's part of what my argument on one level is that Dante, even though he's gone through the Inferno and he's in Purgatorio and he's still being guided by Virgil, that he is not there on his own merit.
Right.
And yet he's a winner in some ways from the people, from the point of view of the souls that he's dealing with right there. He's a winner. And he's a winner because he can go back and he can tell their relatives that please pray for your people. They're in purgatory. They need your prayers.
Right.
But he's also as we will see later in this particular canto, he's moved beyond his inertia that he was experiencing in
Right.
the previous couple of cantos, where he was actually very tired. And Virgil was having to constantly, rally him and say, come on, boy, get a move on. No time to dilly-dally. But now, he's got these other spirits, which are, in a sense, slowing him down. John the Younger, I'm going to put you on mute, and when you want to speak, if you would please unmute, that would be good. If you
One
don't
of the
mind.
notes later says that one of these characters named Palinurus is in the Aeneid, begging Aeneas to get him out of hell. That's in one of Sarah's notes or Giardi's notes.
Okay.
And Aeneas can't. Not qualified, not he's put there by God or the gods, and there's no help from
Oh,
from Virgil,
he was
from
the
Aeneas.
talisman, and he fell asleep and got washed overboard. Did get to Italy, but then was killed there by thieves or whatever. And so he's unburied. So uh, in the Aeneid, uh, Aeneas encounters him, and Palinurus asks him to intercede, and the Sibyl, the priestess of Apollo, who's with Aeneas, uh, kind of rebukes him and says, prayers won't, uh, um, prayers can't undo what the gods have decided. But she does go on to say, but you're going to be honored because there's going to be a cape named after you. The area where he died is named after him. So I think that's at line 28 when he says, he tells Dante tells Virgil, you seem to deny that prayers can help the dead. Uh, so I think that's what that's based on. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Palinurus
Hmm.
and Sybil's reply to him.
Okay.
I suppose that was before they knew about God.
Well, they had
They're
their
both gods.
versions of gods.
Oh yeah, but like the Christian ideal that you could pray.
Yes, yes, yes. I'd like to come back just to this simple fact that psychologically speaking, on what we call reality, this description by Dante is pretty marvelous. Just imagine a real game of dice,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and between two people, one of them wins and one of them loses. And the idea that the people, the observers, are only interested in the winner,
Right.
because the winner's got money, for one thing, and that the winner, in order to get rid of him, hands out some money because he's.
Well, I'm
he,
wondering. Sorry, Duncan. Carry on. Sorry.
no, no, no. I was drifting off.
I'm
Don't
wondering
drift.
if also I want to come back to your point on merit versus lack thereof, and I wonder if Dante is exploring this as well. Um, the fact that in some churches, I'm speaking of Christianity, I can't talk to
Mhm.
others, but where people prosper, where they've done well by forces beyond their control, which would be kind of luck, they're looked upon as being blessed by God.
Yes.
Alternative, and I've heard people on the radio, it was a program about religion, interviewed who belonged to a fairly strict fundamentalist church, and they'd met some setbacks in life. I think they got sick, and maybe they ran into financial trouble, and they got isolated from their community because the attitude was, "What have you done that God is
Right.
punishing you like this?"
Right.
And I think that, and this kind of piggybacks on your point earlier, Duncan. And I think that Dante may be playing with this as well. As you pointed out, he's in this position because in the game of chance, he happens to have a champion,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
I think the story of Job is about what you just said, Dave.
I, yes, yes,
Well, the story of Job is connected to what we're discussing here,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
because I really think the whole point of the story of Job is wrapped up in the vision that God gives to Job at the end. And the
I think
vision,
Job knows it all along. I think that's why he's so calm with all that happened to him.
Excuse me.
The
I,
vision is after he tells the his friends they're mistaken, and then God rewards him.
Job gets pretty upset with God.
Yeah.
Um,
And if
I
you
don't
don't
know.
think so, I suggest you go
I
back and
don't
read
think
the,
so. I have to go back. All
you need to read it again.
right.
Didi.
I
You
have to
really
read
need to
it
read it
again.
again. He does complain. In my quick summary of it, the bad things happen, and Job is relatively equanimous. But then his friends come. He does go into despair, and his friends come and try to cheer him up and tell him that he must have done something wrong.
Well, yeah, that's when he disagrees with them.
He
You know,
disagrees
that
with
if I
them,
won't
and then
complain,
after
I can't.
that, he complains to God. He complains.
Right.
And God steps in at that point and tells him not to. I have
God
to go
steps in and
back.
says, "Listen, you little worm."
Exactly
Yeah.
right. It's a power play when God comes in.
And he says, "Listen, you
I
little
really
worm.
have to go
You
back.
don't have a clue what's really going on here. So don't go making judgments on me."
Yeah, I missed that. I have to go back.
I'm only fresh on this one because in the Ithaca chapter, um, Leopold Bloom kind of pulls the same thing. When Leopold is about ready to be very upset about his position with Molly and the community and all that. And there's this long disquisition where he goes into all kinds of biological and cosmological stuff, which is in my opinion, his version of God telling him, "Look, Leopold, you got to look at the bigger picture, man. This is much bigger than you are." So anyway,
Mr. Minnesota, were you wanting in?
yeah,
You're muted. Oh,
Yeah.
there you
yeah,
are.
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, I do want to ask, is my device here, am I making some noise again or something? Is that a problem? Why?
There's some coughing coming across.
Oh, that was me. I think that was me. Sorry.
Oh,
Uh,
No,
well,
you're
oh,
okay.
You've been
It isn't,
falsely accused, John. My apologies.
okay.
it's not,
I can only judge based upon whose picture appears at the
Okay.
time.
I'm sorry.
And I did think it might have been you, David.
Oh, my
it
apologies.
was not me. I guess I just want to, I'd like to just add one point. I think listening to your dialogue here, it occurs to me that something that, Duncan, you point out that Job does complain at the end about God's treatment of him. And in a sense, I think that kind of reveals his attitude, saying he demonstrates great faith by saying this couldn't have happened because of this, and God couldn't have done this to me. But in a sense, he kind of is upholding the idea that, well, I have been blessed and I'm a good guy, so why wasn't I blessed? And why did you take away? This is unfair and undeserving. So in a way, God's answer to him is a response and a rebuke of that attitude, which is, I think, the point here we're talking about, that, you know, there is a matter of faith, but we don't understand, humans don't understand the ways of God. And despite and sometimes in spite of our faith, that we can still be stricken down, and we can be treated very poorly in life. And it's not God's fault, or if maybe that's even part of God's plan in a way. And I guess our
Well, I think that's the deal. I mean, when
yeah,
you are a creation of something larger,
yes,
that creator will use you how they want to.
right.
And this is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
It is actually to get across the point that you exist, not by any merit of your own. Forget that stuff. and I, as the creator, I will use you, and you should be glad.
Right.
You shouldn't complain. I mean,
Right.
you exist, and if you give up the idea that you exist because of your merit, your life will be much happier.
Right.
This is getting right, almost getting back to the whole thing of the Christians, being martyred in the circuses of Rome. One of the most amazing, I'm assuming this is true. I assume it's true because I've seen what faith can do to some people.
Yeah.
The martyrs went gladly to their slaughter because their fundamental belief was they were being used by the Creator for some, I don't know what he's using me for,
Yes.
but it's okay.
Yes.
I am a created being. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And that's the Calvinist. The Calvinist thing, my apologies if anybody's a Calvinist. The Calvinist thing is absolutely blasphemous in my heart, and it is what has got us in a whole world of hurt right now. We have these ultra rich people who think the reason why they're rich is because they're special.
Yeah, that they're
And God.
Yeah.
And therefore, since they are special and the rest of us are not special, they can do what they want.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
Yes.
and I think this is in a sense, one of the most important themes in the Commedia. And right in this image of the dice and who the people follow, they follow the winner. Well, in some cases, actually the loser is the superior example.
Einstein, God does not play dice.
Well, there's that too,
Universe.
but I mean, the person who loses at dice, they are actually paying stricter attention to reality than the winner.
Right.
That true.
I mean, this happens. I don't know about the rest of you. When something, quote, bad, of course, I interpret as something bad happens to me, where I tend to go is, what role did I have in this?
Well, of
Did I
course.
have a role? Do I have a role in feeling this pain?
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah,
ever
of
do something? Did
course.
I underdo
Yeah,
something? And
right.
this drives me, I think, to a better place.
Yeah, that's about learning.
It's about learning, and there are few human beings that will learn without any painful prompts.
And sometimes they don't learn,
And
no matter
sometimes
what,
they don't learn. Well,
which
that's
is
that's our
which is
citizens
this,
down in
yeah,
Inferno.
right.
They're full
And
of
this
pain, but they
bunch,
ain't learning.
right, and this bunch at least is gonna learn. They've come that far.
They're in Purgatorio,
Yeah,
which implies that eventually they will learn.
yeah.
So,
All consigned by Dante. I love it.
all
Well,
righty.
it's
Mhm.
And we get all these people, a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Ready to read on here?
yeah. Just
Yeah,
before
we're ready to read on,
yeah,
I think.
just
And I
before,
mean, there are so many, we could stop at every one.
I think to pick up Job and tie it in here. Job actually calls God to account, and God answers pretty forcefully, but he doesn't vaporize Job. So I guess the rule is you do get to call God to account, and you can be rebuked. And how does this tie in here, since you guys made the allusion? Dante's asking a lot of questions, and here his question is, Okay, so like what's happening? Does his prayer work or not? And why? Why is that the case if it does? Because you said it didn't, Virgil, back in the day. And and I think there is this business of sort of questioning how things work. Perhaps not as forcefully as Job did, because Dante wasn't as touched as hard, but there still is this questioning. And
Right. Yeah.
you
Right.
know,
And I think
how
as
long
we read ahead, that what you're saying comes up
right,
about Beatrice being the one who would be the one you consult.
right.
That's toward the end of this canto.
Mm-hmm.
So the I know that you do wish to move on. I would say that uh,
There you go.
what's interesting and what is perhaps untrue is he said, and where his hand goes out, they melt away till in the end he's quit of all the pack. Um, that wouldn't be my experience, perhaps, from what I've read in life and in literature, that people hang on as long as there's a little bit of meat on the bones. But here he's saying, yeah, the winner actually does rid himself of the rest.
Um, okay, I take your point. Take your point.
And so,
Usually the way you would do that is you would toss some money in a different direction. And it's just like with the dog. If a dog is bothering you and you happen to have some bones with you,
yeah,
toss a bone away from you.
I'm thinking
And I guarantee you the dog will go for the bone
that's
in the
true. That's
bush.
true. I'm thinking of those parades where they throw candy out and all the kids
Oh
run after
God.
it.
I was thinking of the other sort of uh, lesson learned sometimes given how orphan is defeat is an orphan, but victory has 1,000 fathers.
Yes,
That doesn't really apply entirely here because a lot of people, I think, they're happy to go along for the ride as long as the money and all the goodies flow from the wealthy person. But as soon as you run out of cash, they're gone. So
gravy train.
Nobody loves you when you're down and out.
that's right.
And you're smiling.
The old sad old story.
The question of Job is related also to the play of Shakespeare named what is it? Timon of Athens. Timon of Athens.
Oh,
He
really?
was a rich man and he used it to great parties to his friends, and then he lost everything and he
Right,
wanted to have some help from the friends. He was abandoned, like Job.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Timon of Athens.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you for that snapshot uh, of that play because I had no idea. There's so
Yeah,
much
I've been
history.
wondering about that lately. God and Shakespeare. And I have to go back to Shakespeare to think about that. What are you showing us? That's what it's
Hercules.
about.
If anybody is interested in an updated version, I haven't read this in 30 plus years, but I recall really enjoying it when I read it. JB by Archibald MacLeish, written in 1956, so a year
On the
before.
Pulitzer.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
maybe
It's on-
maybe part of the we could do it for Mondays sometime. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
hard to get these books from the library these days.
John, I guess you're on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there was the Aretine who from the arms untamed of Jean de Taco had his death, and he who fleeing from pursuit was drowned. There was imploring with his hands outstretched Frederick Novello, and that one of Pisa who made the good Marzucco seem so strong. I saw Count Orso, and the soul divided by hatred and by envy from its body, as it declared, and not for crime committed. Pierre de la Brosse, I say, and here provide, while still on earth, the Lady of Brabant, so that for this she be of no worse flock. And I'll just stop there. Because
Yes, that's fine. And let's go through each of these. Let's finish up.
Right.
We've got 9 minutes. Let's go through each of these people
yes,
and interpret their deaths. So
Okay.
we have the Arantine, who from the arms untamed of Gin de Taco had his death. So apparently Gin de Taco slew the Arantine.
Yeah.
And he who fleeing from pursuit was drowned. Is that a second person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the Arantine, and he was slew by Gin de Taco. And then you got, is, I guess it's Frederico Novella who was fleeing from pursuit and was drowned.
was that Frederick Novella or was that Jean de Taco again? De Taco was it? And he
Well, that's a good question, and I don't.
Good accent. I have here in this multiple, yeah, multiple. Line 15. Yep, it's a different person. One usually identified as Guccio de Tarlati, Tarlati. He was a Ghibelline from Arezzo, who, while in pursuit of a group of Guelphs exiles, was drowned in the Arno.
Yeah.
Anybody else have that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the third guy.
Third guy.
Oh, he's not named.
Pardon?
He was not named. He who fleeing from pursuit was drowned. He's not.
Yeah.
He's just
No, he's
okay. So he doesn't refer to anybody in those other lines there.
yeah. That's just in notes here.
Okay.
Yeah, according to my notes, Frederico Novella was a different type of death.
Yeah, he's died in 1617.
Mm-hmm.
So each of these in a way are different people. So
Yes.
that he would not Frederick Novello, and then that would be that one of Pisa who made the good Marzucco seem so strong. That would be yet a different person. It seems like for it to
Yeah.
follow.
That's how I read it.
Yeah.
Who is the good Marzucco, and why does he seem so strong?
The son of Marzucco delle Scornigliaghe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Hollander's notes are not very
And
good.
that's one of Peter.
Let's see if
Okay, for that they have the Pisan, probably Gano, Gano, Degshi, Degli, Scornigiani, who was murdered by Count Ugolini's faction in Pisa in 1287. His father, Mazzuro, does that come into it? Does, who is here praised for reacting to the event with fortitude, became a Franciscan friar and ended his days in Florence, where Dante could have known him.
here's a pop quiz. Who is Ugolini? Do you remember Ugolini?
Polino was the one
Yep.
of the Inferno.
Yeah,
That
he was.
He was in the Inferno. And what was he famous for?
He ate his
imprisoned in the
children.
tower.
He's walled up with his kids.
Yep. Inferno 32, I think.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't explain how they know all of this.
Conte Orso.
Orso? Yep. He was a member of the feuding family of the Alberti. And in brackets, they have Inferno 32, line 55. And he was murdered by his cousin around 1286.
Mm-hmm.
Soul divided.
Pieve della Brossa. Delle Brosse.
Okay.
What about before we move to that one? Is the soul divided by hatred and by envy from its body, as it declared, and not for crime committed? Is that somebody different from? Is that a separate person now who's just not named?
Orso.
That's Pierre de la Brosse, who's in the next line.
That's him.
That's a different one. different character.
So good.
Pierre de la Braccia, doctor, is a
They
physician.
lie together.
People
Yeah.
are friends.
Okay. And
There-
the
There's
translation,
quite a note here about Pierre de la Brasse,
Okay.
court physician and favorite of Louis Louis, whatever the ninth, and later of Philip III of France. Philip had him hanged in 1278. Dante clearly believes him to have been the innocent victim of the intrigues of Queen Mary. The lady he calls upon, this is Queen Mary. We get to her later.
The
He
Mary of
calls upon
Brabant.
her.
Mary
Yeah,
of Brabant.
the Lady Mary. It
Mm.
was later in the in Purgatory. Calls upon her to repent while still on earth, for fear she may find herself in a worse herd, that is, in hell, than that in which Pierre finds himself.
Good. By the way, Dee Dee, can you see this?
I can't see the cover.
This is a complete Chiardi, in one volume.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not
Well, I
this,
found it
it
in a
runs a
used bookstore.
hardback.
I
Yeah,
found it in a used bookstore in Houston
great.
a month
Yeah.
ago and decided, I need it.
so are we clear then, or are we agreed the soul divided by hatred and by envy from its body, as it declared, was Pierre de la Brosse?
Yes.
Okay. And it says, yeah, Dante says, I say, it is almost like he didn't get his name, but he believes that who it is, almost like he's saying that. Okay. So he's providing us a list of a few of the people who've been begging him
For prayers.
for prayers, yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I
And
think
if you
what's
know their story, you know why they're
Yeah.
here in group 2,
Right.
terrace 2, the unshriven.
Soon as I was free from all these shades, who only prayed that someone else may pray,
Mhm.
so as to hasten their becoming holy.
Indeed.
Okay. So I guess we will begin next time on verse 28 or line 28.
No, I think it's 25, actually.
25. Okay. As soon as I
It,
was freed. Okay. 25. Okay. Do we have our secretary with us next week?
I got it marked. Yeah, I should be here.
Okay. Excellent. I really do enjoy these.
Me too. This has been great.
You
It's
know,
nice to be back.
it's good to do this stuff. I think enjoyable and good.
Good. All right. Yes.
All right. Well,
Thanks.
everybody have a good week. Good luck to Chicago this week.
Right.
Oh, God.
I think the heartening thing here, Duncan, is that there appears to be no crime in red states. It's only the blue
Yeah.
tending to. So look out in Minnesota, but you folks in Ohio, you're good. Texas is untouchable.
Ah,
No crime
yes.
there.
No crime
Did
in
you
Texas.
see in the
Everybody.
funnies today? Wait a minute. Let's see who the cartoonist is. This was wonderful. Created
create a
Gerrymander
YouTube if
Man.
we're going to
Let's
switch
see.
topics
Let me
here.
find it. I cut it out. It was so wonderful. Oh, good gerrymander. It's a monster.
Oh, it's okay.
Prickly City. What do you scream about? They love me in Texas and California.
Well, for what it's worth, which is not much. I'm actually more heartened recently.
Oh, help.
Well, I'm heartened that there actually are leaders starting to evolve out of the Democratic Party.
Leaders, you said?
There are leaders, yeah, starting to step forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's in this canto too about people who don't, that was in the notes somewhere, don't step up, who hang back. Dante already is talking about that in this canto.
Well, yeah. Well, that was almost the very first thing I put a lot of those people in. What was it, Canto 1? The people who not one couldn't be one, must be Canto 2 and Inferno. The people who are running around following a flag being stung by insects and all that sort of stuff.
And I got to tell you, there is nothing in the rest of the Inferno that I would fear as much as having insects and worms crawling over me.
God,
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
take any of the other sins
that's what they did to
over that one.
Dreyfus. The Dreyfus
Well,
story.
anything to get you to be a straight and honorable person, John.
Yeah.
Even a sinner,
Yeah.
not bugs and worms.
To avoid that, rather
Well,
sin
thank you all very much.
Thank you, Duncan.
For
or
those
commit
who
a
are
worse
involved, we have
sin.
Ulysses tomorrow and Shakespeare on Friday. My apologies that I messed up the Shakespeare thing last Friday, but that will only make us
I'm
more
guilty.
desirous of getting back to it. You are
I'm
not
guilty.
guilty. You are not
I'm
guilty
guilty.
of it.
I
You're not
messed up.
guilty. No, no, it's on you. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Bye.
uh,